I wanted to start this video by saying that we need to talk about the future. We need to talk about tomorrow. But to be honest, we need to talk about today, the present. I know that many people fear artificial intelligence, the impact that it will have on our businesses, the impact it'll have on our careers. And to be honest, you are justified in being fearful. You are justified in being scared. But justification keeps us stuck. Reinvention moves us forward. And that's really what this video is about, is an invitation to reinvent yourself. And it was prompted for me by the memo from the CEO of Duolingo that came out earlier this week. I'm not going to cover all of it, but I wanted to very quickly just highlight 3 things for you that I think are so indicative of the world that we live in today. Not about what's going to happen tomorrow, where we are today already. So in the memo, one of the first things he says is that Duolingo is going to be AI first. And we'll see more and more companies adopt this stance. And it won't just be software companies, it'll be across all sectors. And of course, the kind of person needed in an AI first business is very different to a business that doesn't adopt that approach. The second thing he says is making minor tweaks to systems designed for humans won't get us there. In many cases, we need to start from scratch. We need to reinvent ourselves. And reinvention very often requires that we come down from the mountain of competence to learn a new skill, to learn a new way of doing, a new way of being. And of course, we don't like that because we don't like to be amateurs and newbies and beginners again. But that is what's going to be required. You'll have to dig deep and find the courage to do that. What you'll find is that there are 2 motivations for us to reinvent. The first is that there's a certain vision of the future that you might have, and that you want to reinvent yourself to be a better partner, parent, friend, leader, whatever it may be. But then the second motivation is going to come from the external world, that we can't stop the world from changing around us and reinventing and reorganizing itself around us. And so what is going to be required from you is to keep up with that pace and to reinvent yourself so you can continue adding value to the world. And then the third thing that I just wanted to highlight for you, which further proves this, is he talks about how the company will operate differently moving forward. And a few things that he highlights is, number 1, they won't be using contractors where AI can do that job instead. But also, AI usage will be part of the criteria they use when hiring new people. AI usage will be part of the performance reviews that they do with people inside of the company. And so what this tells me is that you can't just dabble with AI anymore. You don't have to be an expert. But you also can't just use AI to spell check your emails. You'll need to go beyond that. You'll need to think of ways to improve creativity and productivity using these tools. I didn't make this video to scare you, by the way. I made it as an invitation to reinvention, which, by the way, is also the name of my new keynote. Throughout our lives, we are reinventing ourselves over and over again. But there are certain moments in time where that reinvention just feels more necessary, more urgent. And we are now squarely in one of those times. Reinvention is exciting. I know that it requires courage. It requires starting from scratch in many ways. But it also opens up so many new doors and so many possibilities. And what I find interesting is that AI will not only be the tools that we use to transform the world, but it will also be the source of our own reinvention. And so my hope is that coming out of this video, that you'll start your reinvention today.